Hey everybody, my name's Kyle, and today I'm going to show you a couple leg stretches and warm-ups that I like to do, whether you're preparing for a good training session or rehabbing some sore muscles. First, I'm going to start in a straddle and bend forward, trying to keep my legs straight, letting gravity do most of the work as I shift towards one foot. If you can't grab your foot, you can also grab your knee, you can do your shin, your ankle as you progress and get down towards your feet. And then I'm going to swing to the other side and repeat the same progression. Knee, shin, ankle, and eventually your foot. Trying to keep those legs straight. If I bend my knees, I'm not going to be able to stretch those hamstrings properly, so it's important to keep that leg extended. And I'll repeat this on the other side as well. Next, I'll keep my feet together as I bend over, legs and back straight, and start by grabbing my knees, then work down to my shins, ankles, and eventually my feet. If you're extra flexible, try and plant your hands flat to the floor in front of you. If that's still not stretching those hamstrings, bring those hands behind your feet facing the other way. And if that's still not doing it, you can grab the backs of your calves and pull your forehead into your shins. Just make sure to keep those legs extended so you can properly stretch those hamstrings. From a seated position, one of my favorite go-to stretches is just extending one leg out, keeping the other leg bent, and I'll reach towards that foot. Remember, if you can't grab your foot, you can progress from your knees, then your shins, then your ankles, and eventually to your feet. Then I'll drop that head down towards that knee. If you want to make this a little more intense, you can grab those toes and pull them towards your body. But remember, to stretch those hamstrings, you want to keep that leg straight. And then let gravity do some of the work. Switching sides, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other leg. I'm going to flex my foot towards me and start with my knee, then my shins, ankles, and then I'm eventually going to grab the ball of my foot and pull, and then drop my head down. Next, I'm going to stretch the inner thighs with this butterfly stretch, as I grab my feet with both hands, and I lean forward, aiming to get my chest towards my feet. For a deeper stretch, I'll drop my head down as well. If this still isn't working for you, you can place your elbows on your knees and apply some downward pressure. For this next stretch, I'm going to take one of the legs, flip them over, and bring it around behind me. I don't want to lean towards the knee because I'm not going to feel much of a stretch that way. I like to think about bringing my chest towards the foot, and I let gravity do most of the work for me as I lean into this. Bring that foot back around in front. I'll switch feet. Hand on the foot. I'll often sometimes brace my elbow in front of my quad. And again, chest to your foot. And breathe. This next one's a must. The straddle stretch is highly useful with those legs extended, rotating those hips forward with the hands in front, dropping that chest down towards the ground, letting gravity do most of the work and your hands pushing for support. If you're pretty flexible, try and plant your elbows down as well. And if you want to go even deeper, reach those hands out, arms straight, and drop that head down and breathe. And one final way to add some intensity is to bring your hands out to the sides and letting gravity pull your shoulders down. And use your hands for support while you're sitting back up. If you're comfortable in a kneel, you can extend one leg out in front of you. Going to the side is still fine, but I find a deeper stretch when I bring it in front. And as I lean into it, I'll use my hands for support, thinking about bringing my stomach towards my quad. The goal for this is not to bring my forehead to my knee. Trying to keep my back straight, and once again, let gravity do most of the work. Progressing my hands from my knee to my shin, then my feet, and I'll drop that head down towards the shin. And remember, you can intensify this by curling those toes towards you. For the other leg, it's the exact same thing, keeping that leg extended and letting gravity pull my body towards my leg. For extra support, plant your hands on the ground and bend your arms as you let gravity pull you deeper. You can also bring your elbows down for this as well. You can also bring your hands out past your feet, drop that head, and keep those arms extended. Then use your hands for support as you bring yourself back up. For this next stretch, I'll separate my feet a little wider than my shoulders, pointing my toes forward and dropping my hips down deep, often keeping my hands out in front. Or you can take your hands and plant them on your feet, bracing your elbows on the inside of your knees. And then for some mobility range, I'll extend my hips back up, straightening out those legs, grabbing the backs of my ankles, and using gravity to extend that spine. Then plant my hands in front, drop the hips down again, and shift towards one side, extending the opposite leg, and rocking back and forth. Sometimes on one side, I'll lift the extended leg and bring it back down, shift to the other side, lift the other extended leg, and finish in a squat. For my quads, I'm going to grab one foot behind me with one or both hands, and I think about extending my knee downwards, pushing my hips forward, and giving that foot a lift. And with those three intentions in mind, I can get a deep stretch in my quad. Same thing on the other side. Lifting the foot, extending the hips, and driving the knee down. Visualizing that triangular directional pull. As I'm doing this, I keep most of the balance under the ball of my foot. Next, I'm going to drop down to a kneel, front leg at a 90 degree, knee under my shoulders, and drive my hips forward. Then I'll grab the rear foot behind my back, stretching at that quad as I pull my foot up and shift my hips forward. You can also grab with both hands and bring your chest up to add a little bit more intensity. When doing this, I use the ball of that front foot for stability. Then I'll switch sides. Again, front leg at a 90 degree angle, shifting my hips forward, grabbing the foot behind me and pulling it in, keeping my chest up, and sometimes grabbing with two hands. Thanks for watching and following along in this video. Want to see more like this? Comment your requests below. It gives me ideas for future content. Any likes, shares, and subscriptions always help the channel grow. And if you want to see more of my content, feel free to check out my other social media channels. Take care and stay positive.